You're listening to the Miami Guides podcast.
Like at first, I realized, in the beginning of my career, going back and forth from Miami to New York, she said, I realized I'm not a New York model, I'm a Miami model. And she said, ever since then, I've been successful when I realized that. I was like, wow, that's like my story. It's a better quality of living. That's what I love about Miami. It's beautiful people everywhere. Right. Everybody's in a good mood. It's a lovely place to live.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Miami Guides podcast, where we chat with inspiring entrepreneurs, innovators and hustlers who are doing big things right here in Miami. Today it's May 5th, so happy Cinco de Mayo everyone, and thank you so much for listening to the show. Today we're at the iconic Shore Club Hotel in South Beach, Miami, at a wonderful Mexican restaurant called Diez y Ses. So there will be plenty of background noise for you. I'm meeting up with a wonderful guest I'm thrilled to share with you. Her name is Aliyyah Riley, and she is a Miami Beach model. I'm happy to have Aliyyah on the show because she's a New York native, but absolutely loves Miami. She now lives here in the Magic City and said that Miami has opened up so many opportunities and ignited her career as a Miami Beach model. She has modeled and run the catwalks for big fashion shows like New York City Fashion Week, the Miami Swim Week, and has been featured in well-known magazines like Ocean Drive magazine. Aliyyah is also here to share her story, how she got started, and the differences of model life in Miami compared to New York City. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you guys to our wonderful guest, Aliyyah Riley. Hey Aliyyah, welcome to the Miami Guide podcast. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's great to meet you and
likewise.
And learn more about you.
Yes.
So, yeah, we are here at the Shore Club. So, but yeah, we are not here to talk about the restaurant or the hotel. We really would like to learn more about you, and I'm really interested in how did you get started and why did you want to become a model?
I've been trying to be a model for quite a while now, but I could say I took breaks in between like certain years because I just been trying to do new things. And something at one point I felt like I couldn't be a model, because New York was very tough on me. And New York, I learned through the years, how the industry works and how in different cities the industry is totally different, you know. So I remember I used to go on auditions for Tyra Banks shows. I used to go on auditions for everything to the point I got so desperate I even auditioned for Bad Girls Club.
Okay.
And I just was so desperate to get some type of exposure, get a stage or whatever so people could see me. But it just never worked out for me. And then I remember a few years back before I moved to South Beach, I started one of my friends put me on to like work industry parties. So I was like the door girl with the list.
Right.
And it was underground parties in New York. Okay. And I'm like, how do people even know about this? And I know there's celebrities hanging there and a lot of people like in the industry affiliated. And I'm like, how do people get into this? Like, how do you even find out about these kind of parties? But I realized that's the underground New York. Like, that's the industry.
Right.
And then I moved out here. I stayed out here for a few years and I felt like I was kind of losing myself because I didn't understand Miami. So I left for a year and I went back to New York. Okay. And that's when I got the real taste of New York. Like, I thought I knew my city. I didn't.
Right.
And I got actually exposed to the industry. Like, it's my friend that put me on to working the events. He started actually, like, setting up the events. He's like, oh, I set up these events now. We're not doing this anymore. So he's like, I can get your name on a list. So you can, network and stuff. I said, cool.
Right.
So then I started doing a lot of industry parties and everything. And then I was just like, wow. like I loved it. And then the more I got exposed to that, the more I understood how the industry works. So that's what I realized, like, in order for you to be successful in the industry and being a model and stuff, you have to understand the industry first, so you can know what alley you're in, what lane to go down, who to talk to, who to work with. And I didn't know that when I was young. And at that, I really didn't have much personality to understand. I didn't know how to talk to people, none of that stuff. So that also comes with me as a person. I was kind of afraid to be myself. I felt like I had to be a person that I wasn't, when in reality, all I had to do is be myself. So then I decided, like, you know what, I'm going to give Miami another chance, and I came back here. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I should give Miami a chance of being a model. And then I started off working at Sean Donaldson. He's like, he has a glam squad. He has a salon on 16th in Michigan. So he's like a celebrity hairstylist. He does like Elle magazine and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm going to work my way up. When I was working at Sean Donaldson, I was making nickels and dimes. But I knew that name was going to open up a lot of doors for me.
So that was like your first breakthrough?
That was my first breakthrough. It exposed me to a lot. It was like school being in there. You get what I mean? And what drew me to work with Sean Donaldson was the fact of the matter that I knew they had contracts with different modeling agencies. So I knew whoever was working through his door was either an owner of a modeling agency or was models walking up in there. So either or, I could do my homework, I could ask some questions, I could probably get some type of exposure, advice, anything. I was taking whatever I could. So that's pretty much what I did. Any model, when they came in there, I would ask them thousands of questions. Oh, what agency you work with? And that's when I got input of different agencies out here and stuff. And then I remember my first audition, because Next Modeling Agency was upstairs from Sean Donaldson. So I walked upstairs and I auditioned for them, and everybody was just like, you're too commercial, you're too short. And everybody dismissed me. And there was this one guy, he was a fan of Sean Donaldson. Like, oh my God, I love them. I get my hair done all the time from them. And he just was like, hey, come over here. And he started talking to me. He's just like, you know what, I'm going to give you some brutally honest advice for you. And I used to be blonde.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, like I used to have dirty blonde hair. And he's like, you know what? It's the hair. The hair is not doing it for you. You need to do neutral. He showed me a picture of this girl. He said, I want your hair to look exactly like this, jet black. And he was like, watch, a lot of doors are going to open for you after this. And he said, when it does, you owe me a coffee.
Wow, okay.
And I took his advice, and I was like, you know what, I'm so desperate. I'm taking any pointer somebody gives me. The fact of the matter that he's like head of the agency, I'm taking his advice, and I ran with it. So 2 weeks later, I changed my hair color, and I walked inside of Sean Donaldson. Everybody's like, that is it. That's it. That's what you needed to do. That's the change. You look like a star now.
Wow.
And then doors started opening for me after that. Like, photographers in my DM, everybody hitting me up. Oh, I want to work with you. I want to work with you. And then I got my first booking. A lot of major things started happening. I'm like, wow, this guy was not lying. And then,
so that was like the best advice ever.
The best advice.
Wow.
I didn't even know that being blonde was holding me back.
Wow. Okay.
You get what I mean? And then I just started like maneuvering around, and then I moved on, and then from Sean Donaldson, I worked at another salon, but in the meantime, I was just like there for a quick second. And then somebody from Sean Donaldson had put me on to Danny Jaleka. Danny Jaleka, he's like the it celebrity hairstylist out here. And I never
in Miami.
Yes. And he was just like, I feel like you and him will be an idol. Like, I feel like he will love you. He will want to work with you for sure. So I was like, okay. And I was messaging him, calling him at first, because this guy addressed, he gave me his number. And at first he was iffy. He's like, oh, I'm just busy, I don't have time. You know, he was just shoving me away. And then Art Basel Week came, and I remember I went to some party at Faina Forum, and I'm dancing on the dance floor, and I turn around, and I see Danny Jaleka behind me dancing, and I'm like, Danny? And then I was just like, hey, automatically, I guess he recognized my voice, because we spoke on the phone. And he's like, oh, it's you. And we started talking, and he didn't know I looked like this. He's like, oh my God, I love your look, whatever. And I remember I asked for a small position. I told him from the jump, I said, I want exposure. I'm a model. I want to work with you. I remember I asked for like a small position to work with Danny, just set him, like, I don't know. I always just never had really this confidence to ask exactly for what I wanted at first. But then, you know, he's just like, how's your modeling career going? I'm like, you know, I'm working on things. I'm trying. And he's just like, he just gave me this random look, and he's just like, how about you just be the face of my salon?
Right.
He's if you do good with this shoot, he said, I'll just give you bookings all year round. I was like, I didn't believe him at first.
Okay.
Because this is a man who, he did Naomi Campbell's hair.
Oh, really?
Like, he worked, every supermodel that comes here, they go to him.
Wow.
Like, he's the it guy.
Right.
So I'm like, you want me, I'm a regular girl, you want me to be the face of your salon? Like, really?
Wow.
I didn't believe him at first. It sounded too good to be true.
Right.
And then I was freaked out for it. And it's funny how the universe works. Is I was speaking about him an hour before, because when my friends in New York came out here, and he's like, what you doing? What you been up to? Is catching up on life. And I was like, I'm trying to work for the celebrity hairstylist. He's a big deal out here. And it's just crazy. The universe just heard how passionate I was. And there he goes. He appeared. So I was freaked out. And I remember he just told me his schedule. Like, well, I work X, Y, and Z days. You can come see me.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And then the day that I appeared, he was having a charity event. Because I was like kind of iffy, like, because I know he's always booked and busy.
Right.
So I was like, I don't want to go there. He won't have time to speak to me. He barely has time to even reply to my text messages.
Oh, so
he's so busy.
Right.
So I'm like, I hope that doesn't happen. I was kind of like nervous going there.
Exactly.
But then like I went there and they was having a charity event. I'm like, oh, you see how God works?
Okay.
So then I went there and then it was people there. But at first I was still nervous to ask them, like, do you still want me to be face of your salon? So I waited till it got a little more intimate. I waited till the end of the event, and I waited till like a lot of people left, and it was down to like 5, like just literally the closest people that was to him was there. And I asked him, I was like, Danny, do you still want me to be the face of your salon? He was like, yeah, you want to? I said, absolutely. I was like, wow, he was serious. So then he told me his idea of everything, and like, yeah, that's good. But I expected this shoot to be like in the summer.
Okay.
But then he ended up getting an offer to be, featured in Hot Living magazine and Ocean Drive magazine.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, we need to do this pronto.
Right.
So we did a shoot in the salon. It was amazing. He did like a hairstyle which was Amy Winehouse inspired, and Amy Winehouse is my spirit animal.
Right.
So the fact that my hair was like hers, I'm like,
okay.
Thank you. These are already amazing. And Faina Bazaar, they're very supportive of my career, so they let me pull my wardrobe and style myself.
Right.
And then I didn't even know. Like, I knew the pictures were gonna be around the salon, but I couldn't believe that was gonna be in the magazine. Like, wow, this is major than what I thought it was. So Hot Living magazine just released, and Ocean Drive is releasing next month.
Right. Wow.
That's gonna be major.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So many doors are opening up.
Yeah. It's like as soon as 2019 hit, it's like, I don't know, everything is happening for me, and I don't know why, and it feels unreal for me to even, be out in New York and fly out to New York, and get booked for Fashion Week.
Right.
That's been a dream of mine ever since I was 19.
Wow. Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like that I used to be like a little girl just watching the runway shows constantly. Right. Always like trying to figure out, how do you even get into this? How do you even like sit down and be like an actual audience in these shows? And the fact that I actually got to walk the runway for the first time, and I actually was front row and center at a fashion show. It was a TV fashion show. I was like, wow, this is a dream.
Yeah, living the dream.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah. So first in the beginning you were struggling finding.
Yeah.
Try something of our signature dish.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So in the beginning, you were struggling to find your way into the industry, but then what you need to do was first find yourself.
Absolutely.
And then when you found yourself, changed your hair. That's the moment when doors were opening.
Yes.
Building your network, finding the right people.
Yes.
So then things started to take off. How different is model life from Miami to New York? Is there a lot of difference?
It's a huge difference.
Oh, is there?
Because New York doesn't go for the beautiful woman walking down the street that just has that look.
Okay.
They go for the girl who's like 6'4" and she's like a rare breed. She looks like she's mixed with something insane, like probably 3 mixtures of like foreign.
All right.
You get what I mean? It's not the everyday girl walking down the street that they want. And at one point when I was growing up, I don't like to use that word, but I was a little envious of women who were like 6 feet, because I'm like, damn, if I was 6'2", I would have a career right now.
Wow.
You know, because everybody always told me, oh, you're too short. I'm 5'7".
Right.
Even though it's like, well, you know, I do have a good height when I have heels. Why does it matter? But I get it. Like, some people probably won't have you walk down the runway in heels. You get what I mean?
Right.
But it's a huge difference. And in Miami, I remember when I went on my very first audition, and this is when I completed my portfolio for the first time, and I forgot who I auditioned for, but this lady, her story was similar to mine, and she gave me hope. Because she was like, you know, I'm a New York native, and she was like, at first, I realized, you know, in the beginning of my career, going back and forth from Miami to New York, she said, I realized I'm not a New York model, I'm a Miami model. And she said, ever since then, I've been successful when I realized that. I was like, wow, that's like my story.
Wow. So
that's been locked in my head ever since. You get what I mean? And I just came to that conclusion. I'm a New York. I mean, I'm a Miami model. I'm not a New York model.
Right.
Like, look how a company out here, a Miami company, booked me to do New York Fashion Week.
Right.
New York didn't book me. Okay. Miami did, and they flew me out there.
So Miami has a positive effect on you.
Absolutely. At first, I'm like, you know, the first years that I was living out here, I didn't understand the city, so I grew to kind of like hate it, because I kind of lost myself trying to understand the city, especially being a New Yorker. You're adapted to fast pace, and you're adapted to, you know, a more cultured, you know, environment.
Right.
Miami is cultured, but not cultured as New York. I mean, as like the food and the styles, the fashion and everything. It's not like that here. It's more Latina culture than European culture.
Okay.
That's how I take it. But different parts of New York, you get a different part of different cultures.
Right.
I can go to Harlem and get a culture of African food and stuff like that. I could go to some part of the Bronx and get Indian food. I can go to another part of the Bronx and get Jamaican food. I can go to Brooklyn, and it's everywhere, like different cultures. You get what I mean? So I can say Miami, that's what is missing. But hey, you know, every city is different. But I'm in love with Miami now, because I understand this city and everything's working out gloriously for me.
Exactly.
You know, I got a booking for Swim Week. I'm doing that this year.
Wow.
And I remember I went to Swim Week last year just to sit in the audience and watch what type of girls they pick, what type of girls are walking down the runway. And I said to myself, this is gonna be me next year for sure. And this year I'm be walking Swim Week. Like,
that's terrific. How Miami actually helps you to get further into your career, and also I saw that you have on your Instagram profile it writes Miami model.
Absolutely.
So, how important is social media for a model?
I could say working at Faina Bazaar made me realize how important social media is, because before I used to just post whatever. I wasn't too tuned in. My following wasn't growing, and I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? I used to just pretty much bullshit on there. And in Faina Bazaar, somebody put it in my mind, like, you're working here now and you're about your career. He said, I know people that work behind Instagram. Never get too personal. You get what I mean? They don't like when you get too personal. Like, just posting dumb, pointless stuff. You get what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. He was like, the gatekeepers are watching you now. Choose wisely what you post. And I came to conclusion, because, you know, I didn't know how serious it was until, like, I started posting certain things and I would tag certain designers. And the fact of the matter that I work at Faina Bazaar, they watch my stories now. Top designers like Zimmerman, they watch my stories. Like, oh, this is a girl. Oh, she's wearing our stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Like, to the point I had a famous photographer in my stories watching. I'm like, oh my God, he's watching. So at that point, I'm like, wow. I need to watch what I post. I'm creating an image for myself. Now I switched my whole Instagram up. I changed everything. Deleted a lot of things, because now it's my business card.
Exactly. It's your personal brand.
It's like nobody asks for business cards now. People ask, what's your IG?
Exactly.
So I'm like taking it so serious, and ever since I started taking it seriously, my following is growing by the month, constantly growing by the month. I'm even learning how to use it as a business. You get what I mean? So, yeah, and the funny thing is, people been told me this a year ago when I used to be in New York and doing the industry parties, and people would tell me, like, I wouldn't get bookings unless I had a huge following or, you know, good advertisement.
Is it important to have a huge following?
Yeah, for certain labels that you want to audition and work with. you have to have a huge following because it's all about advertisement now.
Oh, right.
Social media is the new advertisement.
Exactly.
Especially for clothing and stuff. For fashion bloggers, I mean, people get paid by how many people are going on their, their little URL that they have in their bio. It's maybe something to advertise it for a clothing line or whatever.
Yeah, it's another advertising channel to promote their brands, and that's how they use the models, I guess.
Right.
So how many followers would you need to have like that status that you would get booked?
Exactly.
How many followers would be the minimum that you would need?
To tell you the truth, I honestly don't know how much followers you would have, but you have to have a huge following or to be like more of an influencer.
Is it like 10,000 or 100,000?
Yeah, something major.
Major, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there now. But I'm happy month by month my following is growing because I'm on it every day. Like I might miss one day out the week and just chill out from it. But a lot of people that have huge following, I always ask them, how did you get that?
Right.
Before I was starting off modeling, I would ask them, how do you get that? They're on it constantly. They're on it constantly, like interacting, just posting, and I'm like, really?
And what tactics do you think are working best at the moment?
Pardon?
What kind of tactics do you think are working best at the moment?
Insta stories?
Insta stories, yeah.
I love Insta stories.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good way to be visible.
Because people get to really know who you really are, how funny you are, what type of person you are. Posting pictures is cool, but it leaves a mystery of your personality.
Right.
People will wonder, oh, this girl is fabulous. She knows how to dress. People will wonder though.
They want to know
how are you as a person or your everyday life? Like, what do you do?
Behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Right.
Is your behind the scenes image. So I love Insta stories.
Yeah.
Like some people probably won't even follow you. They just watch your stories and stuff like that, and you know who's on your page.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's also a good way to see who is interacting with your content and who is following you. So what do you like about Miami most? Which areas? You already spoke a little bit about it. You like the culture and so on. Are there any specific areas that...
I like the quality of living. I love Miami as a whole, but I love the quality of living. I feel like coming from New York, it's way better because I wouldn't say Miami's better than New York. I mean, I would never say that because to me, New York is better than Miami because living in New York makes you handicapped. Here, it's like, you just got to stay focused. But here, it's a lot more easier for me. That's why they say when you're coming from New York, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Because New York will chew you alive and spit you out. Here, it's like, if you stay focused, you surround yourself around the right people, you can succeed. It's for sure. You get what I mean? And the real estate also, I noticed, you get what you pay for. It's fair. Life is fair here for me.
Right, yeah. It's cheaper than New York, definitely.
Absolutely. You get what I mean?
You can get a nice oceanfront here for...
Exactly.
You pay so much more in New York. It's
in New York, my friend, for example, she lives in Soho. Soho, to me, is a place to live. But she lives in a shoebox. You can barely breathe in there. You get what I mean? She's spending $2,000.
Right.
But... you could just say in New York, you pay for location. Like, yes, she lives in Soho. As soon as you get out, every New Yorker's dream, as soon as you get out your apartment, is to have the subway right there. As soon as you get out her building, the subway's right there. Right. And she has all the boutiques. Alexander Wayne's up the block. Have all these top designers. That's the life in New York. You get what I mean? But still, to me, it's not. I want to live in a glorious, beautiful apartment as well. So here, $2,000, you got a balcony, you got a view, you got laundry in your apartment, you got marble floors, you got a deli in the lobby. You have everything.
You have the beach as well.
You have the beach.
And
you have
the weather.
Your pool. And you probably have a rooftop pool upstairs in your building.
And great weather.
And great weather. You know what I mean? It's a better quality of living. That's what I love about Miami. It's beautiful people everywhere. Everybody's in a good mood. It's a lovely place to live.
And when you're not working, where do you like to hang out in Miami?
Wherever's fun, I would say. I mean, I'll do the beach, I'll do poolside. I mainly like to hang at the Standard, though.
At the Standard?
The Standard Hotel is a place where I go to.
I love the Standard.
Yeah.
It's a really
It's very
cozy
zen,
place, right?
yeah.
Really zen indeed. They have a beautiful pool, nice view.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I really love the Standard.
I used to have an addiction to the Standard. I found myself constantly being there at least like twice a week.
Oh, okay.
But that would be a place I would go to recharge and to avoid humans. I notice when I'm there, nobody really cares to talk to me. You know, when you go certain places, people want to socialize. So every time you go to a spot, you know somebody want to talk to you. There, I'm in my own world. I don't want to talk to nobody. I really barely want to give anybody any kind of attention. I'm there in my own world. I recharge up, and it's like I believe in, meditating as well, and I like to meditate around nature. So, that like before you get to the pool area, they have like the grass and everything and the little natures. I sit over there and I just daze out, and then I just think about a lot, and I meditate a little, and I just relax.
Yeah. So you have a really quick-paced life. You have to fly here and there.
Yeah,
be on time everywhere, and there's a lot of pressure. So that's a really nice.
In general, talking to people all day, being around people all day. I'm a loner, so that's a lot for me. You get what I mean? To be around people every day, talking to people every day, people taking your energy constantly every day. You're doing stuff, you're working. It's a lot for me right now, and I know it's only going to get worse. Not worse, but in a good way, worse.
All right.
I'm good, but it's just I have to have my moment where I just have my time to myself, and I recharge, and I avoid humans. Don't have any type of conversation, anything for the day, and just recharge back up, meditate, get my mind back together, and then I'm back at it again.
All right. Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah. It definitely is, but like I said, it's just I've been constantly. This is all new for me to be constantly working and stuff and doing a lot. Like it's like I have to keep my life scheduled now.
Right. Wow,
but I love it though. This is all I wanted.
Well, you're young, and you have great opportunities waiting for you.
Yes.
Do you have any future plans in mind?
I want to be on a billboard.
Okay.
I won't stop until I got my first magazine spread. That's cool.
On Times Square, or
first it has to be in the city, and I'm gonna take it back to my city, of course.
Right.
Yeah. So for sure, my goal is to be in Times Square.
Right.
Absolutely. That's a huge dream.
And taking a selfie.
Yeah, taking a selfie or somebody just sending me a picture like, oh my God, Aliyyah, I saw you. And then, but I mean, that's not my only goal. Like, modeling is a stepping stone for me, but then eventually I want to be a personality. I want to be a host for shows. I want to, interview people on the red carpet. Hey, how you doing? What are you wearing? Like, interview celebrities. I feel like I'm built for that because I don't treat celebrities like they're aliens.
Wow.
I don't get starstruck. I treat celebrities just like they're one of us. You get me? I walk up to them. I feel celebrities walk up to me. I was at Versace Mansion yesterday, and there was actors walking up to me like, oh my God, I love your outfit.
Wow.
You get what I mean? The law of attraction is real.
Right.
So you get what I mean? Like, the stuff like that I notice, and it kind of feels like, wow, this isn't normal. But hey, I feel like there's a bigger calling for me out there.
Right.
And I'm ready for it. But I know it's going to take time. But modeling is a stepping stone, but I don't want to just be stuck behind a camera taking pictures. Yeah, that's nice, but I just want to make a name for myself first, and then eventually I want to branch off and do other things. I'm an artist, so fashion and being in the industry is my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to, that's why at one point I wanted to be a stylist. I want to do a lot of things.
Right.
But mainly I want to be a personality. I want to be a hostess for maybe a movie premiere or whatever, be like, hey, just talking to people. But
who is your biggest inspiration?
Tyra Banks.
Oh, really? Nice.
You see how Tyra Banks, she started off modeling, but look, she ended up getting her own talk show.
Right.
She ended up doing other things aside from just modeling. Modeling was a stepping stone. It gave her the power and the floor mat, but then she branched off, got her own show. She was like the new era of Oprah to me. You get what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So
well, she's doing amazing.
Before I die, I have to meet her. You get what I mean? I would love to just sit down and talk to her and be like, get some pinches out of her book.
Right.
But one thing I already did though, and one thing she taught me through her shows is personality is everything. At first I used to be that's why I said I didn't succeed because I didn't have personality. I used to be scared to be myself. So, and eventually, like, I just like, you know, I was like, F everything. I don't care anymore. And when I stopped caring, that's when I started getting everything I wanted, and I started being myself.
All right.
So yeah, that's my idol. That's who I look up to, because you could tell, like, watching her show back then, like growing up when I was watching her, you could tell she was never afraid to be herself, and that's why everybody loved her. Not only was she beautiful, but her personality was amazing, and she was letting you know, I'm a human being. This is what I go through. This is what, you know. And she also gave us young girls advice. I want to be somewhat like that. My goal is to inspire.
All right.
That's definitely my goal, and that's what she does.
Right.
You know, she inspires. She's still working. That's what I want to be like.
Yeah. Well, I really believe that. You're on the right path, and I believe you will be the next Tyra Banks.
Yes.
So really looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really want to thank you for coming over and telling more about yourself.
No, thank you.
And I think you're a really wonderful person.
Thank you.
And it was really nice talking to you.
Likewise. I appreciate you.
So, is there any place that people can find you from and learn more about you? What's the best place that people should follow you?
My Instagram.
All right.
My Instagram is Aliyyah Riley. It's ALIYYAH _RIELY.
All right. Well, I'll be sure to share that on our website and in the podcast. So.
Yes, and also you can find me at Faina Bazaar as well.
All right. Yeah, I've seen you there a lot.
Yes. That's my main headquarters.
Oh, really? Oh, it's not a bad headquarters to be at. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's an amazing place.
Yeah, they support me a lot, and I model for them as well.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're doing so much.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast with Aliyyah as much as we enjoyed creating it. You can find more information about Aliyyah in the show notes. If you haven't subscribed to our show yet, please take out your phone right now and subscribe to the Miami Guide podcast. All of our shows are also on our website, themiamiguide.com. I would love to hear your feedback. Also, we are on Instagram, so please send a DM. Love to get your feedback. We have more exciting episodes coming up, brewing with our ideas, stories and content that we can't wait to share with you. Once again, my name is Mike, and I'm here to inspire you with amazing stories, capturing the vibes of Miami, and help you discover the magic of this city. You can follow us online everywhere as The Miami Guides on Instagram, Facebook, and our website, themiamiguide.com. Thanks for listening. See you in the next episode.